Okay, we're going to give people a couple seconds to get online. So welcome to the Facebook Live. We'll get started here in just a second. Okay, can you see us, Neely?
Yep.
You're good?
Good.
All right, welcome to the Facebook Live today. Our panel includes our City Engineer and Public Works Director, Dawn Overson, the Assistant Public Works Director, Chris Wilson. We have our Mayor, Julie Fulmer, and then we have a special guest today with us, Pete Evans. He is one of the owners and developers for the Vineyard downtown area around the train station. So he's going to give us an update on the project, on their project that they're working on in the downtown, and kind of overview of what we can expect to see this year. Chris and Don are going to talk to us about some of the public works projects we have going on in the city. A lot of them you might know some about, but we're hoping to provide you guys some information that maybe you don't have already and that you guys will find pretty interesting. So Chris is going to talk to us about the Hawk, the signal that you guys have probably seen on Main Street and 400 North, that he's got as his background right now. And then Don's going to talk to us a little bit and give us an update on the water tank. Chris will then give us an update on the public works facility that's currently under construction. And then again, then Don's going to talk to us about the rail spur, and then Pete's going to give us an update on the downtown. So Chris, if you want to take it away, I'll share my screen and pull up some photos of what you're talking about.
Thanks, Jake. Yeah, the Hawk project is, it's been a pretty quick process to get constructed, although it's been a while in the making. We have been looking for ways that we can help to mitigate the traffic on Main Street, especially around the school, and help give a better and more safe access across the street for the students and attending the Freedom Preparatory School. And we've just finished up the construction of the Hawk. It is now active. It'll be a great asset for the crossing guards as they help to get the students safely across the street, giving an additional signal to alert the oncoming traffic to slow down and come to a stop when the lights are on and active. The other benefit of the Hawk is that we will have it operational 24/7. So as residents need to cross Main Street, whether to get to the park or back and forth between homes or the school at any time of the day, they can still utilize the Hawk, which will help improve the safety of the people crossing.
Chris, where are the buttons that you press for the Hawk?
So the Hawk is, the crossing is at the existing school crossing on the north side of 400 North. And so as you can see in the picture, there is the main arm that's holding up the signals. And at the base of that, just on the opposite side of the ADA ramp, you can see a small pole with a box that has a button on it. And that with the box that's on it has the go and don't go and the countdown for the pedestrians crossing. And then so that's on the east side. On the west side, likewise, there's another pole with a button that's near the light pole for that as well.
Okay, great. All right, thanks for that update. Dawn, do you want to talk to us a little bit about the water tank site?
Sure. Can you pull that slide up?
Yep, I sure will.
We've been working on providing storage for Vineyard for almost 10 years now. And just to let you know a little background, the city's required to have enough storage to fight fires and to also handle the peak day demands during the summer. So that's the reason we have storage. At the beginning of this year, it was decided to construct the storage tank at the Public Works site. And you can see in that picture on the left, the Public Works side is shown there on the northwest side of Vineyard there. Hanson Allen Luce is the engineer on this project, the design engineers on this project, and has been working with the Public Works staff, not only on the site location, which is on the right of this drawing, but also on how much storage we'll actually need. And we will construct a 6 million gallon storage tank, which is roughly, I think it's 120 feet wide and 265 feet long and 25 feet high. And that will build us 6 million gallons of storage. And we will, and that should last us for 5 to 10 years, depending on how fast we grow out. Then we'll build the remaining storage required, as you can see on the back end of that tank going to the north. The design of the 6 million gallon tank has already begun. We hope to have it out to construction in 7 to 9 months, and hope it'll take an additional year to year and a half to build. So probably in 2.5 years, we'll have our own storage. That's all I really have.
So Don, they're building in a rectangle tank so that it's easier to expand when we add additional phases. Is that correct?
That's right. The north end of that tank will be designed to handle the connection of an additional 2 to 3 million gallons, depending on how much we need.
Yeah, this project's been one that we've been working on for a really, really, really long time. We've looked at a bunch of different sites and had evaluated one even up in Orem City. But ultimately it looked like this site was going to be the best one for our city moving forward. It will have a pump station associated with it so that we can pressurize the system out of the tank. So thanks for that, Don. All right, Chris, you want to talk to us about the Public Works facility?
Yeah, so as you could see in that same exhibit, there was that small building to the left that Don mentioned. It's very small in comparison to the future tank. A few years back, we started the process of getting starting this project to get the Public Works a facility to operate out of, to store and to work on things as needed. We currently work out of the old house over by Gammon Park and a few little remote areas in the parks, as we've been waiting to get a facility like this. So this would be the phase 1 of our Public Works facility in our yard. And as you can see, they've gotten concrete footings and foundations completed. This will be a 3-bay building with just some small amenities like bathrooms and some workspace areas, some minor workspace area for staff. And this will allow us to store some of our equipment that's temperature sensitive during the winter time, that's subject to freezing, and also allow us to have storage and a place to be able to work on things in a more secure manner. Also with this phase 1 project, we have a salt storage building, which you can see in the background on the left, and I believe Jake has another picture as well. The salt storage building we're excited to get. It's a little late since we are getting close to wrapping up our winter work as it's warming up. But this will be a place for us to store our salt, that we're able to keep it in a manner that doesn't that's in compliance with EPA and things where we're not where we can control this salt and keep it from getting contaminating other things. We've done a pretty good job so far given the circumstances. or the lack of storage facility. And so we're excited to have this. It'll also give us a place to store a few pieces of the snow equipment. And this is almost complete. They have an approach slab on the front to complete with some drainage that will take any salts to our drying bed that will allow us to remove those and properly dispose of any of those salts. It's been a drawn out process. This project's been affected by COVID, as we understand, with the steel plants and the pre-manufactured steel building had delays in getting that, and so it's held the project up a bit, but we're starting to see some results as some of the parts are getting finished, and the buildings are starting to see some completion. So we're excited to have those and the ability to function out of our own public works property and yard and whatnot. So we're excited for that.
Yeah, and again, this is on that same lot as the water tank. So it's on the north end of the city, just east of the Linden Boat Harbor. Some of the equipment that Chris was talking about, we have the vac truck. It's a big piece of equipment that helps us maintain all of our different utilities. So it helps with the sewer department, it helps with the water department, it also helps with streets. But there's a lot of water that's involved in that vac truck. And so it's a really temperature sensitive piece of equipment. It's a really expensive piece of equipment. And we've rented space in the past that was temperature controlled so that we could keep it safe. And this building will allow us to keep that closer to the city. And the street sweepers the same way. We've got some other equipment as well that we'll need to keep in that new building. So that's really what drove the need for that. Yeah, thanks for that update, Chris. All right, Don, let's talk about the Rail Spur project.
So the Rail Spur project was actually started, I don't know, probably over 15 years ago by Anderson Development to get rid of the spur line along Geneva Road. And when they couldn't get any movement with Union Pacific Railroad, they basically turned it over to us. And so we started working in 2008, 2009 with them on getting this spur line removed. The spur line basically will be removed, and that the red and green lines that you can see in that drawing are where the spur line is that we'll be removing. To do that, we have to build another line, the orange line, first. And this has all happened because of funding we've got from the legislature as well as from FRA. And so with the final piece of the FRA funding, we were able to start this process. And we have also been working with UDOT on doing the project management on this project. Now, there'll be several phases that have to be done before we can get rid of the rail spur. The first one is the design and the environmental clearances. That's not only for the new rail, but also the environmental clearances on the old rail. The property acquisition for the new track is the next step. Then bidding and awarding the construction of the new track. Finally, the UP Union Railroad has to approve the construction of the new rail and take it before we can start the last step, which is the abandonment of the old rail. And they will remove all the old rail and ties. At that point in time, this Vineyard City will own all that property along Geneva Road from 1600 north of 1600 North all the way down past Center Street. That property that we will own has to be used, most of it has to be used for transportation use only. So we'll have to probably sell that to UDOT when they decide to widen the Geneva Road portion there. We imagine this project, we estimate this project to be taking about 4 to 5 years to complete. I think that's, I don't know if you can see everything there, but I don't know if there's any questions or anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So the city has been working on this for a long time. Don's been at it the whole time he's been part of the city, and this is a really important project for the city because, as you guys have noticed, a lot of the businesses that are coming on to along Geneva Road are backing up to Geneva Road, and that's because they don't have access. But we worked with UDOT to get a access management plan along Geneva Road, and a lot of that is contingent. Well, all of it is contingent on us getting rid of this rail line that goes along Geneva Road. So we've been really excited to get rid of it. Once it's gone, we'll be able to create that connection at 400 North and realign that intersection so that we can put lights there and have that be a full intersection. It will also allow the city to take over 1600 North, which is currently a private crossing. So there's a lot of things that will be beneficial for the city if we can get this project done. And we're really excited that we've taken those first steps. And Don, it's currently being designed, right?
Yes, the contract was let to CRS, and they're starting right now.
Yeah, so this has been a great partnership. Mayor Fulmer was able to help us negotiate some deals with the Transportation Commission, and even back to Mayor Farnworth. Mayor Farnworth was able to help us work with the legislature to even get the loan from the state. So that's the state monies that's coming into this project is through a loan. And then we were able to work with the federal funding. Don mentioned FRA. That's the federal funding as part of this project, and it's actually a grant. So $7 million of the project will be funded with federal dollars through a grant. The rest of it's going to be done with local dollars, with a portion of it being a loan from the state. So, all right. I think we're to the point that we can go talk about the downtown with Pete. He's here to give us an update on the downtown. So I'll pull up a map and we can start talking about that. Pete, do you want to take us away?
Great. Yeah, appreciate the invitation to be here. Talk about the Downtown Vineyard project. So as most people know, the Downtown Vineyard project is kind of bounded on the south side by the Vineyard Connector, or 800 North, and goes almost to 1600 North on the north side, on the west side of the railroad tracks, and then all the way to the west to Utah Lake in some portions. So the Downtown Vineyard project was designed to be a very walkable, pedestrian-friendly and bike-friendly community in North Utah County with great access, obviously also to I-15, but then also just kind of to create this sort of urban environment and downtown amenity and lifestyle that is sort of missing in North Utah County. So where we are right now in the project is we have pretty much designed our phase one improvements, which include Main Street coming in from 800 North, so running north from 8th North, around our kind of phase one improvement area, which is sort of that circle that goes to the east, up to the train station, the front runner station, and then back out. And we're working right now with UTA and UDOT on coordinating some of the last pieces of the front runner station there, right at what we call our transit plaza. And we expect that they'll be under construction here in the next few weeks on the train station and the train station platform. And then our phase one improvements will allow the vehicular access that will facilitate that the train station opening later this year. So we'll follow that closely behind with our phase two improvements, which will go west down the promenade area and out to the existing county road that runs north-south on the very west side of the project. That'll give the 2 points of access that we need both for the train station, but then also to start beginning actual building construction in the downtown area. So we're actually under contract right now with an architectural firm, starting to lay out our phase 1 area, which is that first block around the train station, and then a little bit to the west as you come down the west and the south, as you come down what we call Market Street, that little street between the square about and the train station. We expect to be under construction on vertical buildings, if not the end of this year, hopefully the first part of next year, about a year from now. And then you'll kind of see that development just sort of spread out from there, going west and north from the train station.
I've highlighted where I think the train station is, or that train station area is in this circle here. And then this is the Main Street connection that he was talking about. That's the Market Street. And then, let's see, this is the connection to the north, to that North Promenade Road, and then out to the lake there. And so all of that's included in the phase 1, right, Pete?
So the phase 1 is actually the the street that you didn't highlight as you come up Main Street and turn east immediately.
Okay.
So yeah, that one right. Come back down farther south.
Okay.
No, Train Station Road.
Yeah, farther south.
Oh, this one.
Right there. Yep. That's basically our phase 1, is that loop that gets access to the train station. What you highlighted going parallel to the tracks and then out the North Promenade is phase 2. So it's that one, or the down the promenade itself into the county road. We're evaluating both of those right now as phase 2 improvements.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that update, Pete. Yeah, we're really excited to have the train station open. We're really excited to have this downtown area start and kick off. It's been something that the city's been working on for a long time. So
yeah, it's been great. And the city's been awesome with helping push things with UDOT and UTA and trying to coordinate. There's just an incredible amount of moving parts that we didn't know because we haven't been involved in a train station or front runner station before. But the city's been done a great job coordinating with all of those groups to try to get this thing across the finish line. And I think we're basically there with the state to get that train station open, which will hopefully open up a lot of this for everything else that should be exciting down there.
yeah. Before we go to questions, do you have any questions that have popped up, Neely?
No.
Nothing yet. Before we go to questions, does anybody on the panel have anything they want to add, or Mayor Fulmer, do you have anything you want to say about these projects?
I can wait for questions. If people don't have questions, I can add to it. And if people want more background about the funding or how it happened or what we're focused on and what some of the barriers are still happening, I'd be happy to answer anything like that.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Mayor. I know you've been working with the state legislature quite a bit, and there's bills at the state that would apply funding to the front runner project this year. So we're really excited to see those and hopeful that they'll pass.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, Neely, is there any questions?
Oh wait, how many total phases, how long until fully built out? for
That's
downtown, I'm assuming?
Question for Pete. So Pete, one of the questions we just got was how many phases do you anticipate in the downtown, and what's your total build out timeline look like?
There will probably be about 10 phases in the downtown, and I think it'll probably build out over about 15 years.
Okay.
Mhm. There's a little bit of a delay, but nothing yet.
While we're waiting, we'll give them a couple minutes to ask any questions that pop up, but is there anything else that anybody from the panel would like to add? Nothing?
I can say the front runner station is going really well. That's one of the projects that Don and Jake and Pete kind of really highlighted. Some of the I think the new timeline that we're looking at is December, so that's kind of exciting. It's an estimation, but it's something that people can look forward to. And maybe if we have the ability to work really hard and get scrappy, we'll be able to get UTA to push that back to August. So that's exciting.
Mayor, I think probably most of the residents don't know, but do you want to talk to them about your role with UTA?
Oh, yeah. So I serve on the Mountain Land Associations of Governments Board as a mayor of one of the, as a mayor in the county and in the region. And I was elected to serve as one of the advisory council members for UTA to try to help UTA budget and manage their systems. Long backstory, but yeah, that's kind of what my role is there. And so this position really allowed me to help bring in the double tracking that is necessary for the front runner station. And so one of the things the city's been working on, and Jake, I don't know if you mentioned this, but we were able to get funding for the front runner station at about $4 million from the state.
That was last year in the legislative session, right? Or
No,
two-
that was in 2018.
Yeah. Oh, 3 years ago.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Crazy.
And then when we were going to implement it, because we have just been kind of gunning to put in the infrastructure and move this train station forward, they found out that due to an unfunded mandate from the federal government, there needed to be double tracking to keep the train station moving, the trains moving on time. And so this was going to be another, they had estimated between $6 to $30 million, and it ended up being roughly around like $22 million. And so in that position, I was able to go through their budget and kind of help facilitate some of that funding. And together with this awesome team in front of you, we were able to negotiate and fight for that funding to come into Northern Utah County. And we were able to solidify that fund a year ago. And the project's been moving forward. The design's been happening. There were a few barriers that fell outside of our city with the Army Corps of Engineers, and that process is moving forward. And at the end of the construction bid and kind of, itemizing costs, they found out that it was like $1.6 million over, and we were able to get that put into the budget this year. So if that bill passes, it will be fully funded, but UTA was able to front that money. So no matter what, the train station's going to persevere.
Yeah, that's great. It's been a project that we've been working on for a long time also. So it's good to see a lot of these projects that we've been talking about for years and years to actually have progress and see them, taking steps and moving forward instead of just, updating that we're still working on it. We're still working on it. It's good to see the progress and actually having boots on the ground working on them. So
yeah. Some fun facts if people want to know of the progress that's happened in the last 3 years. Just people don't really, I think, understand what it takes to get infrastructure put into the city. When Don mentioned that we had done the Center Street overpass maybe a few times ago and spoke about how it was funded by the city, he mentioned that was one of the only overpasses funded like that in the state, which is pretty remarkable. But our city, because it's at the crossroads of federal and state infrastructure projects, the Vineyard Connector is not owned by the city. The rail lines are not owned by the city. And you've got some of the rail lines that go through UTA, and then you have other ones that go through Union Pacific, like the spur removal that you guys were talking about. And these projects have had to go all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States to get access points for our little city. And I don't think people always realize kind of the battles that we have just to get out of our city or into the city. But in the last 3 years, we've been able to fulfill a lot of those last things with those last negotiations and discussions with getting UPRR to sign contracts, with getting them to deliver our rights that were given to us in the Supreme Court, with bringing in nearly $50 million in infrastructure funds for these projects, and being able to push them and what it takes has been remarkable and really exciting.
Yeah, Julie, I'm glad you mentioned the overpass. One of the questions that we got from our last Facebook Live about the overpass was about the guardrails. And so I just wanted to give an update on that. I spoke with Public Works today about that. We're currently bidding the guardrail on the south side of the overpass. So just a reminder, you know, the overpass was designed according to the standards, and it's set up for a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. It's safe as it's constructed, but just to make it a little bit safer, we are going to install those the flexible barrier on that south end. Chris or Don, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I think you pretty much said it all, Jake. That, I mean, it is a safe design. It is safe as it is if you're obeying the traffic laws, and that the barrier will add an additional comfort to the drivers.
Yeah, just an additional level of safety there. Okay, well, I don't think we have any other questions that have popped up. I'm sure that we'll have some on the comments on social media, and so we'll try and address those just like we do every time. But thanks for joining us today. We hope that these projects are something that you're interested in, and hopefully you enjoyed getting an update on them, and you'll be able to see the progress that's going to happen this year. So we're really excited about the steps that we're taking. Thanks for joining us. And again, thanks to the panel for being part of it. Thanks, Pete, for joining us today and giving us an update on what you guys are working on in the downtown.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, we'll see you guys later.
Thank you.